Hello viewer, it's a pleasure to have you back on this channel once again. Thank you for your support so far. Thank you for always viewing and liking the videos. Thank you for sharing the videos with your friends and for subscribing to this channel. You are appreciated. Just like always, it's another educative time on history with Gloria, and today we shall be going to a unique state in Nigeria, and that is, stay with me, I'll be right back. Welcome back viewer. Today, like I said earlier, we shall be exploring the history of a unique town in Osun State. It's called Ejigbo. We'll be looking and delving into the history of Ejigbo, how the town came to be and how the town has been sustaining since then. The people of Ejigbo belong to the Oyo dialectic subgroup of the Yoruba and have the influence of the Oyo in its history and culture. The town of Ejigbo in the western region is surrounded by carefully farmed fields, linked by good roads to Ibadan, Ogbomoso, Ede and Osogbo. Many of its young men and householders take the road to Abidjan in Ivory Coast and Kumasi in Ghana to seek their fortune and to trade. The history of Ejigbo speaks of the indisputable role of Akinjole as the founder of Ejigbo and eventually the first monarch, who is known as Ogiyan of Ejigbo. Ejigbo is an ancient town with 3 ruling houses or dynasties, which is contained in the 1955 approved and registered declaration. The traditional importance of Ejigbo as a town is understood by the very generous reference. The history of Ejigbo is thus interwoven with that of the popular Orisha Ogiyan, whose festival is still the most spectacular annual event in the town. Ejigbo is a landmass that has the feature of the savanna climate. Ejigbo shares territories and boundaries with Iresa in the east and Ede in the southwest, while the river Elekunkun serves as an age-long boundary with Iwo, a town to the southwest of Ejigbo. Traditionally, the major occupation of the people is farming. The mainstays are food crops like yam, cassava, and corn. They also grow cash crops like cocoa and kola nut, but not in a very large quantity, as Ejigbo is not in the typical rainforest climate setting. One must acknowledge the fact that the people of Ejigbo travels a lot. They are found in many West African countries, notably Cote d'Ivoire, Togo, and Ghana, where their enterprise tendencies as a people have made the business they run and the economic nerve centers of those countries. Ejigbo as a town has experienced development in sectors like politics, economy, that is a transition from agrarian economy to a more modernized one, and the introduction of paper currency as a medium of exchange. Transition from African traditional religion to one of the most famous religions of the modern world, which is Christianity and Islam. Social, which extends to areas like education, communication, road construction, and healthcare. The historical evolution of the ancient town of Ejigbo dates back to the 15th century. The place of Ejigbo in Yoruba history is without doubt an estimable and envious one. The origin of Ejigbo is locked in interesting legends that has evolved over time to include new variations that was romanticized by traditional historians to present a glamorous account of the town's history. History laid claim that the town was founded by Akinjole Ogiyan, the close associate of the legendary Oramiyan, that adventurous prince of Oduduwa, the progenitor of the Yoruba race. Akinjole, together with his brothers, particularly the Akire, the founder of Ikirele, left Ile-Ife with Oramiyan, the founder of Old Oyo, to establish their own town. This fact is confirmed by Ejigbo Mekun, the name of a market in Ile-Ife. The people of Ejigbo belong to the Oyo Empire subgroup of the Yoruba race, and the influence of Old Oyo on its history and culture is one that is without doubt visible. The origin of Ejigbo is one that is accounted in two closely related accounts and traditions. First, The first account stated was narrated by Prince Salam Oyeleke Bello, the son of the late Oba Bello Oyedemi, the 27th Ogiyan of Ejigbo. He wrote that Akinjole, who happened to be an adventurous Ife prince, was the one who founded Ejigbo. He went on an adventure, and upon his return, he discovered that his beloved brother Akinwere had left Ile-Ife without notifying him. He therefore set to search for his brother across the breadth of Yoruba land, and later found out that his brother has established the kingdom of Ikire-Ile. He departed from him and went to establish his own kingdom too. Akinjole consulted Ifa Oreku, and Ifa told him to face a side where Ejigbo was eventually founded today. He further told him to say exactly where he sees a bird called Ejigbo, ostrich. The oracle told him to take proper care of his father's deity, which is known as Orishanla, which is also called Orisha Ogiyan in Ejigbo, because this is the deity that will be protecting him. After this, he set out on an adventure until he got to an area called Okeoyo in Ejigbo, where he heard the sound of the ostriches known as Ejigbo. He settled down very close to that area, and there we have the Orisha Ogiyan today. Akinjole lived with his deity thereafter, but on one fateful day, he went hunting and came across other group of hunters whose name was Olushiji. They talked from there, they got to know each other better, and eventually they started cohabiting. The friend of Akinjole, who was known as Olushiji, was eventually given its chieftaincy title known as Oye, which is a prominent title among all the titles in the Ejigbo community. And it is from this particular family, the Olushiji family, that the title of Oye chieftaincy usually comes from till today. Olushiji started living together with Akinjole at a place known as Ile-Oba Ejigbo today. And to the second account of Ejigbo history, which was espoused by the Ogiyan of Ejigbo, Oba Omowonuola Oyesoyin II. This account also has it that the founder of Ejigbo was Akinjole, an adventurous Ife prince who left Ile-Ife in the company of Oromia. The account has it that Akinjole was a direct descendant of Oduduwa, was an integral part of the Oromia troop that accompanied him to Benin, and also witnessed when Oromia founded Old Oyo and Oko, a town near Ejigbo. However, the death of Oromia at Oko necessitated the need for Akinjole to seek his own kingdom. He therefore moved few kilometers away from Oko and established his own settlement. He embraced hunting, and before long, other people joined him at the location. It was this settlement that expanded and became what is today known as Ejigbo. Nevertheless, the two accounts corroborated that Akinjole was the founder of Ejigbo and that he was undoubtedly of Ile-Ife origin. The two accounts also recognize the historic connection between Ejigbo and some of its neighboring sister kingdoms, especially Ikire-Ile. The connection between Ejigbo and Ikire was further buttressed by shared traditions and vivid reference in their oriki. The two accounts agree that Akinjole's adventures availed him with a first-hand experience in kingdom formation, which he put to effect when he decided to found his own kingdom known as Ejigbo. Now, how did the name Ejigbo came to be? Some school of thought agree that the Ifa Oreku was consulted before the establishment of the town, and that Ifa Ejogbe reflected, and it was from that Ifa Ejogbe that the name Ejigbo came from. On the contrary, another school of thought believed that it was because of the presence of these ostrich birds, Ejigbo, which was present at the place where the town was located today, that gave birth to the name Ejigbo. Another school of thought opined that the name Ejigbo could be traced to the historical events that occurred during the reign of Akinjole as the first Ogiyan of Ejigbo. It was said that the celebration of the Ogiyan festival, which happened to be their god in that land, usually witnessed heavy downpour of rain, and the celebrants usually chant Ejigba Ojo during the worship, meaning Eji will receive rain. Thus, Ejigba Ojo was coined into Ejigbajo, which eventually metamorphosed into Ejigbo. The town Ejigbo is widely known and recognized to a large extent. It is widely visited by people across Yoruba land. In recorded Yoruba history, Ejigbo was also known to have played a significant role in the tumultuous events that shaped 19th century. In the events that shaped 19th century Yoruba history following the fall of the old Oyo Empire to the Fulani jihadists. In 1820, Yoruba land was left to the mercy of incessant attacks from the Fulani and their Jama captured at Ilorin. The fall of old Oyo Empire permitted the jihadists to overrun many Yoruba towns and settlements, thereby leading to massive inflow of refugees in search of sanctuary. And Ejigbo happened to be one of the choice locations that welcomed and housed significant numbers of these refugees. Some of the descendants of the Oyo refugees who fled to Ejigbo can be found at Oke-Oyo area of Ejigbo till today. The town became an ally of Ibadan in 1835, and its sons proved very worthy ambassadors in the different war expeditions of the time, which Ibadan spearheaded. When Ibadan forces moved to protect Osogbo from the then invaders who came through Ilorin, prominent Ejigbo warriors joined hands to resist them. Also, detachments from Ejigbo assisted Ibadan army in the Ilaje, Jalumi and Kiriji wars of the 1860s. History has it that Ejigbo has never been overrun by enemy forces in war. So also, Ejigbo as a town has never been conquered by enemies. All this considered, Ejigbo is ranked among the prominent towns in Yoruba land with an enviable and glorious past. The town's tradition of governance of gallant bravery, rich history, are placed as a place of refuge during the 19th century interminence wars, and the part it played in the restoration of peace and stability to Yoruba land has cemented a place in the canals of Yoruba history as a town with a rich past. Also, a market is named after Akinjole in Ile-Ife up to today. This is a pointer to the man's relevance in Yoruba history. And this is where we'll be drawing the curtain of today's episode on History with Gloria. We've delved into the history of Ejigbo, one of the rich towns in Yoruba land. But what do I want us to learn from Ejigbo as a town and its history? It is said that Ejigbo is ranked among the prominent towns in Yoruba land with an enviable and glorious past. Like history could point to its enviable, its glorious past, because the town has experienced a change, like an obvious change in terms of growth, and a lot of changes has happened to the town. And that is why history can even say that the town today is an example of a prominent Yoruba town with an enviable growth and a glorious past. Now to you, my viewer, what will people say about you? What are the changes that people can see and point out to and say, no, this person has changed, this person is growing? And no, I can actually point out to a particular growth that has happened in the life of this person. I can actually say, no, this person has lived a life that is enviable. What will people say about you? Why you are still on earth and why you are no more here? And it is with this thought that will be leaving us today. Thank you for always viewing the videos. Thank you for your support so far. You are appreciated. And until next time when I come your way, keep listening, keep sharing History with Gloria. Thank you.